to Science Wonders. Boys and girls, earlier today I read the story Commotion in the Ocean. We learned how different creatures lived in the ocean and what makes them special. We learned, for example, that stingrays have wings and they have a tail that has a stinger. Ouch! We also learned that barnacles are little tiny creatures that like to cling to things, like to cling to the coral, they even like to cling to the whale. Well, today we are going to be making our very own ocean so we can have a commotion too. So how we're going to do that is we're going to take a clear container, so it can be any size container. Here I have one ready for you to see. It can be a peanut butter jar, it can be a jar from the dollar store, it can be a Tupperware container, as long as it has a tight fitting lid and it's clear so you can see inside. First you're going to take your container, whatever kind it is. Now this one I would use in this direction. These ones I'm going to use upside down. And we're going to make a little ocean scene inside our lid. So to create our scene, you're going to need an adult's help. So mums or dads, grandmas, grandpas, we need your help because we're going to be using a hot glue gun. First of all, we're going to find some things that we can put inside our lid. Now here's a seashell with a little pearl in it. And I have a little bit of driftwood. And just kind of set your scene. Now you have to make sure it all sits within the middle because you want to be able to put your lid back on top. I think I'm going to use the peanut butter jar and make a little tiny scene. I'm going to start with a rock. And I'm just going to put some glue on it. Make sure you have lots. And I'm going to set it right down there so that this jar can fit right inside again. So it's going to just make sure it's going to fit once your things are inside. Then I have this little piece of driftwood. I think that would be fun. I'm going to add it to my, I'll put it beside my rock right, or maybe on top of my rock in the middle. That might be fun. I'm going to hold it there for a second until it dries, until it wants to stand on its own. Now I have some little plastic greenery. This just comes from the dollar store. And I'm just going to use a little bit of that to give my seascape a little bit of color. Just going to put some glue on there. And I just put it on my leaf, and then I'm just going to let my leaf catch wherever it will catch. It's just catching, and then hold it for a second. Because it's plastic, it's going to want to melt a little bit and then fall away. That's okay though. So when we put our lid on, we can get it to stand up again. Now if you look on this side, boys and girls, you can see I have a little space there. Ooh, maybe I want a little starfish. I have a jeweled starfish. I'm going to put that inside my seascape. Will it fit in there? I think it will. Whoops. Alright, I need lots of glue. I'm going to put the glue on the rock this time. And I'm going to lean my starfish into the glue. There we go. And I got room all around, so my lid will stay fitting. Alright. Then, what else do I have? Oh, do you remember this morning? I was playing with a bucket of water and some little fish. I'm going to use one of those little fish from my bucket. I just need to dry it off. I'm going to add a little fish right there. And again, I'm going to put my glue and lots of it on the rock so that I can just set my fish into that spot and then let it dry. Now I got to make sure that my lid is going to still fit on, and that fits perfect. See that, boys and girls? Now we got to let those things dry, and once they're all firmed up, then we're going to go on to the next part. So while that's drying and hardening up, we'll work on our jar. Now this jar is clear, so we'll be able to see in it. First, I need to add some water. I'm just going to use some water from my ocean that I was playing in earlier today. I'm going to fill it up to about there. Then I'm going to add some blue food coloring just to make my ocean pretty. Next, what we need to add is our food, or our oil. Now I'm adding the rest of this oil till just below the surface. All right. Do you see what's happening with our oil, boys and girls? It is separated from the water. Oil is denser than water, so it won't mix together. The molecules in water are what we call polar molecules. They have a negative charge and a positive charge, so they like to stick together. And the oil is a non-polar. It only has one charge, so it doesn't stick to the water because it's different. So the oil sticks together and the water sticks together, and they don't mix. So what's going to happen when we take our jar lid and we turn it over? Oh, boys and girls, you might want to put some glue on the edge of your lid. Let me just do that before it gets too much going on, just so it doesn't come apart. And then we're going to screw our lid on tight. This is where mums and dads can come in again. Mums and dads help screw that on tight, because now we're going to turn over our jar and look what happens to our oil. Do you see the bubbles floating? The fish is swimming, and the bubbles, it's like air bubbles in the sea. And then you can turn it over again and let all the oil float to the top again. Do you see a big bubble coming right up there? Look at that. And there's our commotion in the ocean. We got commotion in the ocean. Just turn it around so we can see that the oil and the water don't mix. If you shake it too much, boys and girls, this is what happens with the oil. It gets tiny, tiny, tiny. If you don't have a fish or anything to put in your ocean, you might have some stickers. I found these stickers that I've had for a long time. And all I would do is put them on the outside of your jar, because you put them on the inside, the water will just make them peel off. And then it looks like you have fish. Ooh, and I have a shark swimming in my ocean. There we have it. Commotion in the ocean. And remember, you can turn it upside down and give it a little bit of time, then all those bubbles will come back up. And then you can make another commotion in your ocean. That will be lots of fun. Thanks for joining me, boys and girls. Bye.